Okay, so some of you already know what is SAP. Some of you have already used SAP EHS module, and there are quite a number of people who are still new to this technology and who may not be exposed to this SAP software. So from that perspective, I would like to give you a brief hint about what is SAP, what is a SAP ERP software, and why do we use it, so that we can have some backup before we get into SAP EHS module, right? So SAP ERP is a software which is industrial software. It is mainly used to manage the business processes. If I have to simplify it, I can just say that the business processes which are carried out in a company, maybe it is related to finance, related to marketing, sales, or maybe it is related to logistics, HR activities. You can take any example. Somebody is not on mute. Can you please mute yourself? Somebody is not on mute, please. Okay, thank you so much. So SAP ERP software, like I was saying, is a software that helps the businesses to plan their business activities and to carry out their business from day to day. Okay, it can be any kind of business. Maybe they are into oil and gas, maybe they are into pharmaceutical industry, maybe they are into civil and construction. SAP has solution for each and every business process. So it is not an automation software. It is not some kind of robotic, nothing like that. SAP is a software which is used to manage the company data. If you are operating a company, there will be a lot of data related to the company. It may be sales data, it could be financial data, it could be your marketing data, accounts, HR employee data will be there. So all this data, you need to manage it somewhere. You have to manage it in such a way that there is no leakage of the data to any external source, to provide a high degree of data security. And also, whenever you want to use this data for generating various reports, for generating analytical reports, SAP or any other ERP software is very helpful. SAP is not the only ERP software, there are many other. I don't know if you are aware the full forms. SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. That is the full form of SAP. And when I say ERP software, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise is a company. Resources could be your main materials, machinery. All these are your resources. And you need to plan these resources so that you can actually utilize it with maximum efficiency and you can avoid wastage. So towards that end, SAP ERP software is very helpful. It will help you to plan your businesses and it will help you to utilize your resources in a very efficient way. That is why companies use SAP ERP software. If you want to procure any material, there is a solution here. If you want to manage your EHS system, there is a system available. If you want to do plant maintenance, if you want to plan your production, you take any business process, there is a solution available in SAP. There are more than 100 functional modules which are available in SAP. Out of those modules, EHS is one of them, which you can use to manage your EHS system within the organization. Right? So this is a little bit I wanted to tell you about ERP software. SAP is not the only one. There is Oracle also who have this ERP software. Even Microsoft has ERP software. There are quite a number of other companies as well who have this ERP software. Okay, you have to take the license. If in your organization, if you want to use SAP, you need to pay the license fee. You have to take the license and then you have to implement this software in the organization. So as an end user, the employees of those companies will be using ERP software. All right. So that's about SAP ERP software. Now let's get into a little bit deeper into our SAP EHS. Like I said, this is a very advanced software and it helps organizations to manage their data. But with respect to EHS, how does this EHS module help? It supports the companies in order to fulfill their regulatory compliances or their corporate social responsibility towards environment and sustainability, or if they are involved in any hazardous products, it will allow them to manage those hazardous substances in the companies. Okay, and it will also allow you to integrate with other modules. You can connect with the HR module if you want some data. You can connect with plant maintenance. You can connect with material management module, so that you can use your EHS systems more efficiently. When you have the latest data available with you, you can use EHS module in a very efficient manner. That is possible in SAP. Secondly, the corporate policies or whatever the EHS policies that are developed at the management level, by the time they are implemented at the ground level, it becomes a very tedious task. Sometimes you may have very good plans created at the management level, but until and unless you don't implement that at the ground level, then it is of no use. So SAP EHS module will definitely help the companies into integrating their solution with different other business processes like human resources or like logistics, or there is even safety related to your production. You can integrate your EHS system with the various other modules, and you can implement your EHS policies and procedures at the ground level. So it is very handy when it comes to developing the policies and implementing them at the ground level. So at the corporate level, these are the two advantages on a broader scale. But if we want to speak point by point, exactly what? These are okay at the management level. Yes, these are some of the advantages I can say. But what about the exact EHS? How does it help us? Let's see that. It helps us in reducing the incidents, mitigating risk, and to facilitate safe working environment. I know some of you are not from EHS. I know that. But a little bit knowledge about EHS is also very much required here. Because when we say near miss, when we say incidents or risk assessments, you should be in a position to understand exactly what we are speaking about. Because as a consultant, you would be required to meet the clients, you would be required to take the requirement from the client, and they'll be speaking you in the language of EHS. So you should be able to understand exactly what is their requirement, and you need to provide the solution. Right. So you should be familiar with at least some of the basic concepts in EHS. So that one of the concept is your incidents. So SAP EHS module will help the companies to reduce the incidents, to mitigate the risk, and to facilitate safe working environment. But actually, how will it do that? Like I told you, it is not an automation software. It does not control any system in the company. All you do is you can just store the data in SAP, and you can retrieve the data whenever you want in any form that you want. By showing you the data, by showing you the clear picture, exactly in which business process are there more number of incidents being reported. For example, if you find that in the warehouse, a lot of accidents, incidents, all these incidents are occurring, then you can take action and you can reduce the number of incidents. Only when you know, okay, which is that location where I need to concentrate more. I should have that clear picture. So SAP will give you that clear picture. It will generate you the reports. It will generate you the analytical reports by which you can compare the performance of your EHS system on a month-on-month basis. And if you find that the number of incidents are increasing, you can implement certain control measures and you can bring it under control. It is all because the data that you feed into the system, that is being displayed in such a way that it will show you exactly where you are lacking behind. What action is required from your end so that you can achieve your EHS targets. Setting a target is one thing, zero harm. But to achieve that, you need to have a plan in place. You need to control the incidents. You need to identify the hazards. Only then you will be able to reduce the number of incidents. So that is possible when you have a clear picture, when you can generate the reports and compare the performance, key performance indicators. And you can say, okay, we are gradually improving in our EHS performance. Or if the number of incidents are increasing, you can say you are actually going down in your performance. So that clear picture will be given to you by SAP EHS module. Secondly, it will allow you to handle hazardous substances safely and securely. Hazardous substances, like, you take oil and gas, you take chemical industries. Hazardous substances are the main driving force. There are hundreds of hazardous substances you will find in the chemical industry. But according to the regulation, you need to know this hazardous substance, at what limit can you store them in the plant? What is the maximum limit? And what is the requirement for storing those hazardous substances? And even if you are manufacturing, let us say, fertilizers or pesticides, what is the limit that is imposed by the government? Or if it is any kind of explosive material, explosive product, again, there is a limitation on how much I can manufacture. So you can easily control or you can manage your hazardous substances using SAP EHS, because it will generate alerts. If you are storing hazardous substances, whenever the quantity is going to go beyond certain limit, it is going to generate alerts. It's going to alert you and tell you exactly this is the time you take action and reduce the quantity. It will generate alerts. So that's one of the salient features we have in SAP EHS. And by the way, that process is known as substance volume tracking, by which you can actually find out what is the available quantity of the hazardous substances and you can take action on them. This is one of the salient features. Continuing, you can continuously monitor incident patterns and devise improved risk management metrics. It means that on a day-to-day basis or on a month-to-month basis, you can actually monitor the number of incidents. You can monitor exactly what kind of incidents are occurring in your plant or in your organization. Are there something related to working at height? Are there something related to traffic accidents? Are there something related to near miss incidents or major accidents? When you can monitor the incident patterns, in which area are they occurring? In the production area or in some other, maybe during the transportation, it is happening. If you can clearly identify, you will be able to implement additional control measures and you can bring the number of incidents under control. So it will give you that leverage. You can monitor the incident patterns and you can devise a mechanism by which you can curb these incidents. Okay, but when you don't have the data, when the data cannot be projected in a very simple way graphically, before this advent of SAP EHS module or any other EHS softwares, we used to manage everything in an Excel sheet, or maybe we used to manage it, in a hard copy, in a register format. That is gone. Nowadays, you need these softwares to manage your EHS system. Even going forward, those who are working as EHS officers, the companies are going to demand that you need IT skills in this. You need to have some kind of IT skills related to your EHS management, right? So whether you are planning to move on in your career, if you want to change your career, or even if you want to continue in the same profession, you definitely need to know about SAP EHS, right? So this is one of the advantages. Then, like I told before, it will allow you to comply with all the legal, safety, and sustainability regulations. Those regulations could be related to your environment. It could be dangerous goods regulations. It could be hazardous substance regulations or waste management, recycling, sustainability. There are tons of regulations which you need to follow. So you can very conveniently, yes.
These regulatory requirements like Clean Air Act, everything is existing in the EHS software, or we have to feedback like Excel sheet?
No, there is nothing existing in the SAP software. You have to know which regulation you are following, and according to that regulation, you have to make some changes in the software, or I can say that you have to upload some data related to that regulation. For example, if you are following, let's say, dangerous good regulation, some dangerous good regulation related to that regulation, you have to maintain some data in the SAP system. Like, what is the main thing in regulatory? You need to generate a lot of reports. You need to generate a lot of documents related to that. Then you have to submit certain reports on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. Okay, that is what mainly regulatory is all about. You need to generate the report and you need to show that you are compliant, right? So those things can be taken care in your SAP EHS module. It will not hold any regulatory data by itself. You need to actually upload the data. You have to maintain the data. It could be any regulation, but there is a solution in SAP EHS. Okay, so that's about complying with the regulations. And finally, it will allow you to proactively identify the hazards in a company or plant, and it will allow you to perform risk assessment. Now, for those of you who don't know what is risk assessment, it is nothing but identifying what is the danger present in some location and taking action to eliminate that danger. Either you can eliminate the danger or you can protect it from causing harm to the employees. You have to control it in such a way that that hazard does not affect my employees. So you can do that by performing risk assessment. So you can identify the hazards, implement the control measures so that you can bring that hazard under control. That leverage is given for us in SAP EHS. We can perform risk assessment, we can identify the hazards proactively, and we can take action before that hazard can cause harm to my employees. Before any accident happens, before something happens, you have to proactively take action. That is nothing but identifying the hazards and taking necessary action. That can be done very well using the SAP EHS module. There are different components under which you can do all these different activities. There are many more advantages apart from this, but these are some of the basic, I thought these should be highlighted. That is the reason I have put them in this slide. Okay, any question before going ahead?
Sorry, sir. According to risk assessment, what you have told, so we have to do the analytical method, or so it has been existing, or again we have to?
It is not existing. Nothing exists.
Nothing else we have to do for this one.
You have to do. There is an application for creating risk assessments. You need to go to that application, fill out the data, and then maintain the data with respect to what hazard you are speaking about, what the control measures you are going to implement, how you are going to implement, what are the present measurement values for that hazard currently, right?
I'm asking about the rating system.
Rating also, they have given the main rating, and we call it as risk evaluation in SAP. Under risk evaluation, you can give the ratings for your hazards. Yeah, we call it as risk analysis. It is available in the system. We can perform the risk assessment, provide the ratings to the hazards. After implementing the control measures, again, you can define what is the main rating now. See, one is before you implement any control measure. Secondly, after you have implemented the control measure, what is the response? What is the performance of the system? Again, that can be done using your risk assessment. It is possible.
You mean to say that we need to establish a blank kind, and then upon that, what are the implementation that we have implemented needs to be assessed through performance?
Absolutely. You need to enter all that data, all your existing control measures, or if you're planning to implement any control measures, that data has to be entered.
Yeah.
Yes. It starts with the
so
hazard.
Pre and post one.
No, not like that. It is not like there is something called pre and post risk assessment. There is just one risk assessment.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have, if you have done any risk assessment external to SAP, what you can do is whatever the data you have maintained, you can upload that same data into the risk assessment. Or apart from that, if you want to perform any new risk assessment, that can be done directly in SAP.
Okay.
So same thing what I am asking. We have to do manually it is. First.
Yes, we have to do manually.
We have to upload this one on the system SAP.
We have to do manually in the sense, in the software, you can create a risk assessment. You have to fill the data in the software. In the software, you have to do.
Template needs to be filled up.
Absolutely, something like that. Yes. Okay, there will be an application, just like online applications, how you fill. For example, if you want to book a air ticket, how you fill the details, something like that, you have to fill in the application.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, we'll continue.
Yes.
Yes. So what actually we are going to study in this SAP EHS module? It has been broadly divided into 8 components, your entire EHS module. Some of the main topics or components, if I have to highlight, they are basic data and tools. We start with basic data and tools. So basic data and tools has 3 very important functions. One is specification management, phrase management, and report management. So this component, basic data and tools, is mainly used to maintain the data. We can create the data related to EHS. We can manage the data in this EHS module. And if you want to generate any reports, it can be done using the basic data and tools. So I can say it is like a inventory, data inventory, or it is a database of your SAP EHS, where you can create any data related to the chemicals, related to agents, hazards, or related to any dangerous goods. If you want to create any data, all that can be created in basic data and tools. And to do that, there are 2 things which we are going to use. These 2 tools are specification management and phrase management. We are going to use these 2 tools to create EHS related data, and we will maintain this data in your basic data and tools. And yeah, apart from these 2, there is something called report management, where I'll be giving you a brief idea about what are the different reports we have in EHS, what are the different documents which are available to us in SAP. Like that, some introduction would be given regarding the reports. Okay, this is your basic data and tools. So remember, basic data and tools is used to create EHS data, and you can use this basic data and tools for generating reports, and you can manage the data related to EHS. That's about basic data and tools. Now going to the second one, product safety. This is a very important component, product safety, where if you are manufacturing any hazardous products in a company, this component is very helpful, because it will help you to create a report template for MSDS, maybe report template for standard operating procedure, or it will allow you to create report template for, the label templates can be created. All these reports related to the products, hazardous products, can be created in product safety. That is why we have 2 important components here, a report information system and WWI report template. Because in any software, if you want to generate a report, first you need to have a template. Some kind of skeletal structure should be there. Some kind of form should be maintained. Only thereafter you can generate the reports related to that material. To achieve that, we are going to use WWI report template. This is a software provided by Microsoft, where WWI is nothing but Windows Word Processor Integration. And this is used to design your report templates. I'm not going to teach you how to design the report template, because this is taken care by the technical consultant. But you should give them the data, exactly what you want in the report, which data do you require. You need to give these requirements to the technical consultant. Upon that, they are going to work and they will create a report template. But you need to have some idea related to this. So I'll tell you about the WWI report template. Apart from this, report information system is something where all your reports are stored in the report information system. You can even generate the reports. You can change the status of the reports. Everything about the reports you will find under report information system. From the generation to the approval of the report, up to the distribution of the reports, all these takes place in report information system. So product safety, when we say, it is something more or less related to your MSDS and other similar documents. Yeah, so we are going to see these 2 important things. Apart from this, we have substance volume tracking. I told you about hazardous substances, right? It will generate the alerts. So it is your substance volume tracking which is very helpful, Because if there are hundreds of chemicals stored in your plant, you cannot go every day check what is the quantity. You cannot compare that quantity with the maximum limit and then take action. Every day it is not possible. Humanly, it is not possible. So we have some assistance from the software in the form of substance volume tracking. What it does on a daily basis, it is going to check what is the quantity of the hazardous substance. It will calculate the total quantity of the hazardous substances. It will check the quantity with the maximum allowed limit. And whenever it finds that it is very close to, the 100% of the limit, then it will generate some kind of alerts. Maybe it will trigger an email. It will display an alert message, or in some way it is going to alert the users that this so-and-so hazardous substance quantity is getting close to the limit. Please take action so that you can reduce the overall quantity. To achieve that, we'll be using substance volume tracking. So you can configure this as per your requirement, because every substance has its own limits. So you can configure according to the regulation and you can use substance volume tracking. And with the same, with product safety itself, we have global label management, where we are going to study all about the labels. What are the different labels we have? What are the label categories available to us? In which business processes we are going to use the labels? Yeah. And how do you determine a label called label determination? Okay. And we are also going to see the label template. We are going to see the label template. We can even generate the labels in this. So it's all about the label management. Though it is part of product safety, I normally handle this separately. Okay. So this is about your product safety component. Any question here for me? Please do let me know.
No.
No? Okay.
So, may I know what is safety data sheets?
Okay, safety data sheet or material safety data sheet is the information about that particular material. Okay. Now, what I mean is, let's say you purchase some chemical, maybe let's say it's a fertilizer. Yeah. The manufacturer has the onus on them that they need to provide this information to their customers. Because these are hazardous substances, the customer should be aware what are the dangers that might occur because of this material. Okay. And if there is some fire incident, what kind of fire extinguisher they need to use, or if there is some kind of exposure to their eyes, skin, if that material enters their body, what kind of first aid measures they have to implement. All this data will be in a document called material safety data sheet. It will contain the physical chemical properties of that chemical. It will contain what kind of material it is, and it will contain the firefighting measures, first aid measures, what are the regulatory requirements for this material. All that information will be there in the SDS. That is a safety document.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll carry on. We'll go to hazardous substance management. Now, hazardous substance management is somehow, similar to your product safety, because here too, we are going to handle your hazardous substances. Okay. It is somehow similar to your product safety. It
Hello?
is a very small component. Yes. Any question?
Yes, sir. I just joined in right now. So I'm joining in using my phone. What is the meeting code so I can join in using my computer?
1 second. Anusha, are you there? If you could help him, please. Anusha, if you can hear me.
Yeah, yes, Niles.
Yeah, please help him out, because yeah, I'll continue with the session.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, right. So we'll continue. Hazardous substance management, like I told you, is a component related to hazardous substances. And this component is it's a very small component where we are going to see two topics: hazardous substance master and SARA reports. Hazardous substance master is a master record which is used to maintain the details of a hazardous substance, like its physical, chemical properties, what are the features of that hazardous substance, what are the storage requirements, transportation requirements, like that. Some basic information of the hazardous substances will be stored in a master record. So we are going to see how to fill this master record. What is the process in a hazardous substance master filling? It can be done automatically by running a program, or you can do it manually. Both the possibilities are there. And then we are going to study about SARA reports. So now, speaking about SARA report, this is actually a report which you need to submit to the Environment Protection Agency. By the way, SARA stands for US Superfund Amendments and Reauthorization Act. SARA stands for US Superfund Amendments and Reauthorization Act. So what basically says is that if you manufacture any chemical outside of United States, and if you are planning to export them to US, or if you want to sell this product in US, you need to first follow certain guidelines related to the environment protection. So the Environment Protection Agency, just like your FDA, they have certain requirements in place. You need to submit reports on a monthly basis. These SARA reports you have to prepare, you have to submit to them. They are going to audit your facilities, and they are going to see whether you are compliant or not. Only then they are going to give you the permission for selling your hazardous products in United States. So it is something only related to United States. For other countries, you may have to follow other regulations. Like you have REACH regulation, you have other regulations depending on the country with which you are having the trade. But here, SARA reports are only pertaining to US. And if you want to export your chemicals to US, you need to submit these reports. And there are three types of SARA reports: SARA report 1, 2, and 3. We are going to see that in detail. Okay, so it's a very short topic pertaining to your hazardous substances. Next, dangerous goods management. Again, dangerous goods, like if you are manufacturing any chemicals or any other such product which are considered as dangerous goods, you need to follow the dangerous goods regulation. Especially when you want to transport the dangerous goods, the DG regulation will become applicable. So in this component, we are going to study some basic terminologies related to the dangerous goods management. Okay. And then we are going to study what are the different transportation means we have if we want to transport the dangerous goods, and which are the most common dangerous goods regulations across the world. We are going to see 5 to 6 of them as an example, because these regulations are followed in most of the countries and they are internationally recognized. That is the reason we are going to see 4 or 5 of these standard regulations. We are going to study them, and we are going to see how these regulations are helpful. Apart from this, there is something known as dangerous good master record, just like your hazardous substance master. I told you, hazardous substance master holds the information related to the hazardous substances. Similarly, in dangerous goods master record, you can maintain all the information about a dangerous good, like name of the dangerous good, what is the hazardous nature of the dangerous good, which is the DG regulation applicable on that, what is the transportation means you are going to use for transporting that material, and in how much quantity, what is the maximum quantity that you can transport, what kind of packaging material you need to use for this dangerous good. All that information you need to store in a dangerous good master record. For every dangerous good that you are having in the company, you need to manage this data, right, in your dangerous goods master record. This is one of the very important concepts when we study dangerous goods management. And then, of course, we are going to see some of the dangerous goods document checks. We don't prepare the dangerous goods documents. It is not for EHS department to prepare dangerous goods documents. Actually, these documents are prepared by the sales people. because ultimately they have the ownership. They are the people who are going to sell your dangerous goods. So these people are going to prepare these dangerous goods documents, okay, and share these documents with the concerned stakeholders. But yeah, we have to ensure that the data that they enter into these documents are correct, and there is no error in the data. And for that purpose, we have to perform something known as dangerous good checks. So how this dangerous good checks is performed, what are the things involved in dangerous good checks, which are those documents that are actually checked, we are going to see that little bit deeper in the dangerous goods documents. Okay, but the ownership lies with the sales people. They are the ones who have to prepare these documents. It is not for us, right? So that's your dangerous goods management. It's not all, there are many more functions, many more things we need to learn, but some of the highlights I'm just presenting you here. Okay, next, again, within the same regulatory framework, you have another component called waste management. Again, this also is a part of your regulatory requirement. So what you do here in the waste management component, we are going to study some basic data concepts, like, for instance, the definition of waste, what is a waste code, what is a waste catalog, that comes under basic data. And in master data, we are going to study what is authority assigned number, who are the waste management business partners, okay, what is an entry document, what is an approval document, waste approval document. All these things come under basic data. So we are going to learn some very basic concepts related to waste management, and we are going to explore master data, especially authority assigned number, entry documents, and as such. And then we are going to study how these disposal documents are prepared, because ultimately, if you want to dispose your waste, disposal document plays a very important role. This is again a regulatory requirement. In different countries, there are different disposal document formats which you need to follow. We are going to see a few examples. Like in US, you follow hazardous waste manifest, right? Similarly, in Germany, they call it as BGS or BGS2, or they simply call it as waste manifest also. So we are going to see how exactly do you prepare these disposal documents, what data needs to be entered, how do you maintain the data, and how can you generate these documents, how can you make it as into the printable format. All these things will be discussed under disposal documents, right? So it is all about the waste management, how we can use this component to achieve our sustainability goals, how we can recycle some of the waste that we generate, and what are the business partners involved in managing the waste. This is all we have in the waste management component. Okay.
Oh.
Right. Any question? No.
No.
Okay. Right. Next, we go to a very important component called industrial hygiene and safety. Now, why do I call it as very important? Because as EHS professionals, this is what we do in our day-to-day work, like creating risk assessments, reporting incidents, accidents, or taking the measurement of the hazards in the work area. This is our core function. That is what we do as EHS professionals. So your industrial hygiene and safety has all the functions relevant to you as a EHS professional. So we are going to study in this component very important concepts like work area management. So what is a work area management? Any plant or company, it is a single unit. Basically, a plant is a single unit. But what we do in SAP EHS, we divide that plant into small organizational units. Like, you can divide the plant into production area, warehouse area, or maybe like your workshop, boiler area, DG room, electrical rooms, transformer yard. Like that, you can break down your entire plant into smaller work areas. Why we need to do that is because we can identify all the hazards in each work area and we can implement control measures. But just imagine the plant will be in kilometer radius. You cannot identify all the hazards, nor can you implement all the control measures, in such a big area. by converting that into smaller compartments, you will have a better control on the hazards. You will be able to identify each of the hazard in that work area, and you can actually implement good control over them, right? So that is why we create work areas. So we are going to study how to create these work areas, what data we can maintain under the work area. Okay, what are the control measures which are applicable in that work area? We are going to maintain all the data in your work area management, right? So that's work area. Coming to exposure management, a lot of times when the employees are working in the plant, they are exposed to various hazards. It could be like something like electrical hazards, mechanical hazards. They are exposed to noise, or they are exposed to chemical hazards. But you should be in a position to measure exactly how much are they exposed to. Are they exposed once in a month, once in a day? What is the exposure rating you can provide? What kind of control measures do you have to protect your employees? And when you give the rating, hazard rating to these exposures, under which category do they come? What kind of hazards are they frequently exposed to? All this analysis you can perform in your exposure management. That is why it is very important. So we are going to study about the various hazards and its exposure to our employees in the exposure management. Similarly, you have risk assessment. Like I told you before about the risk assessments, you can perform risk assessment also. After taking the measurements of the various hazards that are there, you can hold those measured values. You can record those measured values in measurement management. It could be any agent, noise, electrical energy, or chemical exposure, whatever, doesn't matter. When you have the measurement values with you, you can record them in measurement management. So that's again a very important component. Apart from all this, every incident, accident occurring in a plant on a day-to-day basis can be reported using incident accident management. We have application, just like your risk assessment, you need to use a command, go into that particular, I can say application, create the data related to the incident, and you can submit these incident reports to your management. You can share it with them. They are going to take a look at that. And if they feel that, they have to perform a detailed investigation, even that can be done. And you can submit a detailed report related to that. So we are going to study these things in your incident accident management. Basically, reporting of incidents, recording of incidents, and performing root cause analysis. All that is done in incident accident management, right? So it's a very elaborate component. A lot of functions are there apart from this. I have tried to give you only the most important ones here. Otherwise, it is very elaborate, very exhaustive component. Fine. So this is your industrial hygiene and safety. And the last part is your occupational health. This component is very important because it is directly has to do with the health of the employees. As a employer, you are responsible for the health and well-being of your employees. And in order to achieve or to fulfill your duty as an employer, this component will be very helpful to you, because using this component, you can track the health records of each and every employee. It doesn't matter whether your company employs 300 people, 500 people, thousands of them, doesn't matter. You can maintain all the medical records of these employees in your occupational health. Not only that, you can plan what are the people, which are the employees that you need to send for medical checkup. You can highlight those employees. You can fix an appointment for those employees. You can share the detailed invitation letter to those employees. Okay, we call that as schedule planning. Identifying the people who have to go for the medical checkup and sharing the invitation letter with them so that they can go for the medical checkup. They can complete their annual or quarterly medical checkups. And those reports will come back to the HR, and they can save those documents in your occupational health. So again, it is a very important. We can schedule the medical examinations, we can collect the reports, we can manage those reports in the occupational health component. We can even send the employees for vaccination. We can maintain the vaccination details. We can create a medical service for each employee. And we can also report injuries or illnesses which may occur in the company. All this in one component, occupational health. Not only that, if you want to maintain, even if you have a brief discussion with a doctor, you can even record that. There is something known as brief consultation where you can record even the minute conversations that you have with the physician. You can record them. You are going to hire new employees into the company, you can create a medical service and you can send those employees for medical checkup. We call that as a pre-employment medical checkup. So occupational health component is going to give you pre-employment medical checkups, post-employment medical checkup, as well as the regular medical checkup solutions. You can comprehensively maintain the health records of your employees. That is what we can achieve using the occupational health component. All right. So all these are the components that I have highlighted to you that we are going to study in SAP EHS module. Apart from this, yes, we are also going to see some of the technical concepts like what are tables, what are the integrations we have with other modules and data structure related to them. Some technical concepts as well along with the functional knowledge, right? So this is what we have in our EHS module. All 8 components, I can say that it's a complete solution for your EHS. Okay, now this is what I have as a presentation. Now, if you have any questions, concerns, do let me know.
Yes, sir. Like Mr. Nayaz, this is Farhan.
Yes,
Sorry
Farhan.
for joining a bit late. So I have a couple of questions. First
Yes.
is, this is SAP EHS, which is different than SAP EHSM, right?
Absolutely.
So will that be a separate training?
No, we are only going to cover EHS classical module.
Okay, and for the like for the EHSM, I have to like maybe there will be a separate training that you'll be doing after this.
Absolutely, it is a separate module. See, what we are going to study in the EHS classical, I have laid down those components in this presentation, right?
Yes.
So EHS management basically contains 4 components: incident management, risk assessment, product compliance, and your I think environment management. There are 4 components in that, right?
Yes.
So it's a different module altogether. EHS, EHSM has no connection when we are actually learning. In this course, we are only going to concentrate on SAP EHS, not EHS management.
Okay, and this SAP EHS will be in ECC or in for HANA? Is it a newer version or the older version?
It is available on ECC because your S/4HANA does not support SAP EHS. It supports only EHS management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
Because I'm interested in both the courses, EHS and EHSM.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I don't know what is the reason, but you know, SAP do not have this SAP EHS solution on S/4HANA.
Yeah, because right now I think everything is moving over to S/4HANA, the new cloud-based solutions, and it's more user-friendly.
Maybe for other modules, but when we speak about EHS, like I said, you don't have a solution for waste management in S/4HANA. You do not have a solution for, let's say, hazardous substance management in S/4HANA. You don't have dangerous goods management supported on S/4HANA. See, these are the basic things. These are what are on-demand components, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So ultimately what happens, any company that wants to use dangerous goods or if they want to use waste management, they have to parallelly use ECC system as well as S/4HANA.
Okay.
This is a unique situation here where you don't have a complete solution on S/4HANA. Yes, rightly said, S/4HANA is more advanced than your ECC system, very user friendly, too fast. Yeah, you can even use the software on your tablets and mobile phone. Agreed. but they don't have a solution for your SAP EHS.
But sir, few of the institutes are giving the SAP EHS in HANA.
I don't know how is that possible. I
Not
don't know.
possible, yeah.
Because SAP themselves were not promising you that they would give you a solution of EHS in S/4HANA. Yes, EHS management is, of course, it is there. S/4HANA does support EHS management, but it does not support EHS classical. Here, we are actually speaking about EHS classical. See, people don't know much about your EHS, what is EHS management. They have no idea about it. They'll just promise, okay, we are going to give you EHS classical on S/4HANA. That is not possible.
Sorry to intervene. What is this S/4HANA?
It is a new technology. Like if I have to give you an analogy, it would be something like this. You know, at the earlier part of 1990s or the early 2001, 2002, we used to use older mobile phones. Yeah, they used to operate on Symbian technology. You know, limited functionality, no video streaming, nothing like that. So you can compare that technology with your ECC system. Okay. Now you have Android technology where you can perform a wider range of activities. It is more faster. You have a lot of options. You can stream videos. You can perform a lot of things, right? So Android technology can be compared with your S/4HANA. S/4HANA actually stands for high performance analytic appliance. That is for your HANA. High performance analytic appliance. Basically, it is more, the operating speed of HANA is better than your ECC system. It is more user friendly because you have web interface. You can just go to the web interface. You can perform all the activities. You can create incident reports, all that on a web-based interface. But you know, your ECC system is supported on your just graphical user interface, GUI. That's it. That is another difference. And yeah, the data in HANA is stored on cloud as well, or you have the solution on-premise solution. But in ECC system, you have only the on-premise solution. That is servers. You can store the data on the servers. And you can use some of the functionalities of SAP on your mobile phone or handheld devices, tab, anything. It is fine. But ECC system, you need a laptop or you need a desktop. Without that, you cannot work on SAP. So these are some of the differences. But otherwise, you know, the functionalities are basically same. There is no change in functionalities. You do the same thing in both the formats. Only convenience is, yeah, it is more user friendly. Graphically, it is well prepared as compared to your ECC system. That's the only difference.
And Mr. Niaz, is there any certifications that SAP is offering for SAP EHS or SAP
Absolutely
EHS?
not. As far as I know, in India, anywhere in Asia, or even in Europe, you do not have any certification from SAP, especially for EHS.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many weeks of training will this be?
It would ideally take about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
And 1 hour per day?
Yeah, if you take up the weekday batch, yes, Monday to Friday, 1 hour, or if you go with the weekend, 2 hours on Saturdays, 2 hours on Sundays.
Awesome. And what are the timings, if I may ask, on the weekdays and weekends?
Maybe, yeah, the training coordinators may help you with that, Farhan.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So quick question. So how much technical, knowledge required on for this? For example, like, do we need to write any kind of, logical programming kind of things?
No, see, SAP has 2 types of modules. We call it as functional modules and technical modules. All your programming requirements or technical requirements are taken care by the technical modules. Like you have ABAP language, which is official language for programming for SAP. You have ABAP, you have security, you have basis module. All these are technical part of the SAP, right? What we are going to study here is entirely related to the business function. EHS is a business function or finance is a business function. So we are going to work as functional consultants, not technical consultants.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, related to, I think I have to come back to Leelavati, I believe.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So regarding the opportunities that you had asked me earlier, see, especially after pandemic, now the situation has changed completely. I mean, there are so
Yes.
many organizations who are preferring to work from home, right?
Yes.
But as an environmental consultant, you would have to, like, you know, a lot of times visit the sites, you have to work with the clients, you have to visit the offices. So a lot of travel is involved in your work. But yeah, if you start working as a consultant, you can take this option to work from home. Definitely you can support the team from home.
Okay.
But if you are working on an implementation project, some level of travel would be required,
Okay.
because you need to visit the client site, you need to discuss with the clients, you need to propose a solution. A lot of client engagement is going to happen.
Okay. So you mean to say that environment is a thing that needs to be, we need to go around and get the information and we need to help the client.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, there are two types of projects in SAP. To be on a lighter note, there are two broad categories. One is implementation project, another is a support project.
Okay.
Implementation is where you have to go to the client, speak to them, get their requirements, and propose a solution.
Okay.
Depending on the business process, right? That is the implementation. But support is something where they are already using the software. You need to support them. If there are any technical challenges faced by them, you need to connect, you need to resolve those technical issues, like a, you know, support consultant, I can say.
Yeah.
Okay,
Got
so
it.
these are the two options you have. Like, you know, you may get to work in a support project. Well and good, you can work from home. That is fine.
Implementation as well.
Yeah, implementation, some level of travel would be required. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Well, and yeah, speaking about the opportunities, I'm sorry, I had forgotten. There are good opportunities currently. If you can, you know, also learn, there are some supporting modules. Like you have a new module introduced by SAP called sustainability module. Along with EHS, if you could even learn sustainability module, you will have a really good knowledge about these concepts and how they are actually implemented in the companies, right?
Okay.
And the opportunities are immense, especially after pandemic. A lot of companies are going for the implementation of these kind of digital technologies, because gone are those days when people used to visit the offices, work there, and then come back. A lot of the work will be done online, and I think the future is, again, it will be more digital in nature.
Okay. So how about the sustainable development module, sir?
See, this is a new module, Leelavati, but I don't think there are any trainers, or I don't think any institute is providing it, since it's a brand new module. It has been introduced in 2021. It will take some time for, you know, for the trainers to come out and train people. But I think that is a good, I think you can learn sustainability along with this EHS.
Okay.
Yeah, it will give more scope, you know, because your experience is also somehow related to sustainability.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, it will give a lot of perspective to your experience.
We are into the EIA environmental impact assessment.
Yes.
We are into the lab part and also the climate change. Now net zero emission. This is the target which is given by everyone.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah.
Going forward, you know, this is what will be the order of the day. Companies will need to be compliant. Yeah. So I think in the future, this would be a great opportunity if you have some knowledge on sustainability as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry for again interruption.
Yeah, yeah.
So Leelavati, she told me that she had all the exposures of EHS. So, however, I'm also having the experience in EHS. So, what I mean to say this, what are the data, risk assessment is there, reporting system, everything we are feeding in this module.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
anyhow, we are also in general, we are doing the Excel, as you told, Excel or hard copies, maintaining the data. So what are the advantages in SAP? I'm not understanding. What is the advantages for this one? Same thing we are doing.
When
we are maintaining the record in hard copies as well as Excel sheets. So same thing we have to upload this one here. So what is the advantages of this one?
See, especially if you want to report your quarterly, maybe emission reports or any regulatory compliance reports, if you want to generate them and submit, it is a lot easier if you're using SAP EHS software. Okay. Next, the very important thing is the data accuracy will be very high because any errors in the system will be immediately brought to your notice. Okay. And it will take very less time to generate reports if you have SAP EHS compared to your Excel sheets or other format of data, generating the reports. It requires a lot of patience and time. But it has been made easier for us in SAP EHS module. That is first thing. Secondly, there is no integration. See, if you are maintaining EHS data, you don't have any real-time information about what is happening in the production department. Or if you are procuring any materials, you don't have any chance to know whether they are environmentally relevant or not. Are they having any kind of environmental impact? You can never know that until they disclose it to you. Or you have to approach them, you have to get the information. Any real-time data from all the different business processes is available in your SAP EHS. But if you are using an Excel sheet or any other such simpler tool, you don't have access to all the information. Like, if you want to, let's say, implement a control measure, what happens if you're not using a software? You will create a risk assessment. You have to go and approach the maintenance team, tell them this is the control measure they need to implement. Everything is done manually. Yeah, you have to go speak to them, convey, write an email. That is what happens. But here, if you're using the software, whatever the control measures you have recommended, immediately a notification will be sent to the concerned person. And a follow-up will be taken. If he does not respond to that notification, a reminder notification will be sent automatically without your intervention. Once he has completed the task, a notification will come back to you.
Notification via email or text message from?
Yeah, it will go via email. You just have to create a risk assessment, add the control measure. And once you select a button, at the click of a button, a notification will be sent to the concerned people. Yeah, you can track your data. See, it is very easy to track your overall EHS data if you are using a software. You can generate analytical reports. You can present these reports to your management in a more graphical way. Okay, you can plan your EHS system. What kind of EHS measures you want to take. You can plan everything in a software. Okay, and also see, look at the data. I mean, the data security provided by SAP is far superior than what other computer systems can provide. Because for a lot of the companies, data security is the main concern. That is given to you by SAP. And here we have a solution. You can manage everything using a software. You can manage everything using Excel sheets. How much of the data can you maintain? Related to regulations, related to waste management, related to incidents, related to risk assessments, related to product compliance. There are so many things, maintaining them. It can be done. I'm not saying not possible, but using such simple tools is very tedious. It will take a lot of your time, a lot of hard work. But yes, you can achieve that without even SAP. I agree that. But why not do the same work with less effort, less time? Don't you think that is a good option?
Okay.
That's why, because we are connected. Your EHS data can be accessed by your maybe manager sitting in US. He can access the data, EHS data, at the real time. He can share any report to any person within a click of a button.
So you
It
mean
is
to say
not
that
so simple.
dashboard can be created?
Absolutely. Dashboards, you need analytical reports. You want to generate compliance reports. Tell me what you want. We have solution in SAP EHS.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, okay, analytical reports, you need a help from another module, but yes, it can be done. There is a module called Business Warehouse. You need to use that. And you can generate analytical reports. You can share those reports with the management. You can present it. All that can be done in a more subtle way and more conveniently.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any